Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for ESPN.
Listen, I think Robert Griffin playing a dirty game because even though both men crossed the line a little bit, both men were some line steppers in a way, Robert Griffin pulled out the ESPN. I feel bad for you guys that you have people like this employed to your company. Don't get me wrong, both of them crossed the line a little bit, but Robert Griffin played a dirty game. I'm gonna play the clips.
Popularity boost of women's basketball, not just the WNBA, but women's basketball in general, because of the spike in the women's NCAA tournament and WNBA viewership. A lot of people were attributing that to Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so. This is what Angel Reese had to say, and I quote, "People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think they'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to the games. We got celebrities coming to the games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. Just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on to be that for my teammates. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. I want y'all to realize that." Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making
He called what Angel Reese did hate. He said you could see the hate on her face for Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure when we moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate, because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story.
Right.
The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her.
Right.
I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the Black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes.
Now we know who do stuff like that. We know who play games like that. I'm not even gonna play with y'all. We know that. Now in this situation, I will admit that Ryan Clark might have stepped over the line a little bit, but I don't think Ryan Clark insinuated at all that he has a problem with Robert Griffin because Robert Griffin has a white wife. I don't think Ryan Clark insinuated at all that he has a problem with interracial relationships or interracial marriage. So there's no need to point out that Ryan Clark has a biracial kid or that he once dated a white woman. There's no need to point that out. Ryan Clark specifically said that Robert Griffin has two wives. Two white wives, and that when they work together, he often brought up how much he loves milk and white women, and even brags online about how important it is to him and how thankful that his wife is white, which he said he feels like is unnecessary because he feels like she's more than just a beautiful white woman. There's more to her. That's what Ryan Clark said. Now, did Ryan Clark need to bring up this history? Probably not, but he used it to emphasize his point that Robert Griffin fetishizes a particular type of person, which is okay. We all have preferences. We all have choices. It is cool. It's okay for Robert Griffin to love white women. He never said he had a problem with it. He just pointed these things out to show that when he was talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and he used the terminology hatred and said that Angel Reese hated Caitlin Clark, that he used a lot of hyperbole and he overemphasized the way he visualized Angel Reese saying, oh, me too, and this and that, this and that, this and that, and this and that. Said the reason that Robert Griffin is like that is because Robert Griffin has a problem with black women. He don't like black women. Now, that's where I'll say that Ryan Clark might have stepped over the line a little bit because he was insinuating that RG3 doesn't like black women. Now, he may not be attracted to them sexually. They may not be his preference, but that don't mean that he don't like black women. But in his statement or in his terminology saying that you don't understand or you don't see why Angel Reese reacts or acts the way she acts because you don't deal with black women, I kind of understand where Ryan Clark was coming from. So again, there's no need to point out that he has a biracial child or he used to be with a white woman because he never said he had an issue with interracial relationships or interracial marriage or with Robert Griffin's wife. He said that Robert Griffin has a fanatic or an obsession with that. He holds that up on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for him to show favoritism from one to the other. That's what he was saying. You know, now me personally, I feel bad for both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark because I don't think it should be this at all. But I get it. Bird versus Magic, it sells. It sells. It's sad that portions of society have taken a stance where they have to be completely against the other one to support another one. Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is Steph Curry, LeBron James. Angel Reese is maybe like Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? Like she can't be Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? But her decided to take this villain role and step into it. You know what I'm saying? Because a portion of society turned against her when she mocked Caitlin Clark. Something that all athletes do to each other. Like maybe Angel Reese shouldn't have did it. Maybe she regretted it. I don't know. But I know that's what she did. And now both of these girls are in a situation where they have to play up whatever the issue is. But it's strictly sports. It's strictly competitive. It's strictly that. It's a rivalry. A rivalry that's really one-sided because one is not going to go out there and get you 40 points. You know what I'm saying? The other one will. The other one will. The other one's a superstar. One is going to probably be an all-star one day. Not knocking Angel Reese at all. But the fact that people have treated her like she's some evil, some bad girl, like when they came out with a GPA and tried to act like she got kicked out of LSU and did all this stuff in her personal life. Like even my boy Charleston White talking about she really, all of that is unnecessary. She's a kid under attack. Where is that at? Because y'all love to say people are kids. They're a kid. They're a kid. Y'all love to say that. But with Angel Reese, we don't get that. Caitlin Clark is a bad girl. She a bad girl. Angel Reese can be there too. She's just not on the level of Caitlin Clark. And that's okay. You don't need to You don't need to insinuate other stuff or add on to it. And she hates her. She hates her. She jumped up wanting to punch her or hit her. She jumped up to figure out why she got fouled like that. Like I didn't see her coming to fight or punch on Caitlin Clark. Robert Griffin was wrong for that. Ron Clark may have overstepped his bounds by pointing out that the boy got a fetish. The boy loved them white girls. He loved them white girls. But when Robert Griffin came out and said, ESPN, I feel bad for you guys that you have someone like this employed. Like, I don't want to compare it to, boy, when I say that's a dirty game that some people play, you know who play that game. Junior.